Sunday morning. Now, I do realize, of course, that we are in the wee hours of a Sunday morning, but I felt a little compelled to come on because I've been thinking about the dynamics of Jackson State University, and of course, there's been hype all week. There was hype probably a week before. There's been, you know, ongoing chatter and noise surrounding Jackson State and Coach Primetime Deion Sanders. Now, I just want to let me just walk back just a little bit. Now, back in 2020, should I say, right at the time, right before Coach Prime Deion Sanders he took on this position, I was I was a little bit skeptical myself at the beginning. But I will say that I was concerned that I was concerned about his motivations when it came to HBCU institutions, the representation of the institution, the what conversation was going to be moved forward in this situation. And I'll tell you, a lot of situations, a lot of conversation may have moved forward, but I'm still thinking were some people's minds are in are stuck in not even neutral. I think some people's minds are stuck in park. Okay, so my issue initially was is that well, my initial argument was that HBCUs and many colleges in the entire nation, but especially HBCUs, were teachers' colleges. They were to me they were in my estimation, and to me historically above my estimation. Historically, these universities and these colleges were for the education, the advancement of education first and foremost. So when people talked about the word, people use the phrase level the playing field, level the playing field, level the playing field. Well, I just wanted to make okay, well let's not mischaracterize the mission of the HBCU, but because originally it was never to be a pipeline to NFL. It was never a pipeline. And the HBCU, my friends, most of them are much older than the NFL itself. Okay. So I had an issue right away because I felt that the HBCUs, because of many people's drive to be a part of the NFL, that they were willing to mischaracterize the original mission of the HBCU just to advance their dreams of pageantry and getting players into the NFL. And I personally don't respect that. Professionally, I don't respect that. And personally, I don't respect it. Because to me, you can be disingenuous when you can, to me, some people don't care if they have to be disingenuous if they are trying to prove a point. If they have to if they have to blanket the races, if they have to be a victim, victimhood sells, okay? And victimhood also moves conversations forward. We know that. That is a tool of moving conversations forward these days. It's a very popular tool, but it's also I I to me I kind of caution people about that, and I'm going to stop right there and say I still stand by my original my original argument that the HBCU should maintain its original mission in order to advance or move education forward and not turn into a platform for victimhood for the NFL, an institution, which it is an institution that it was never meant for. Okay, and there's many benefits to education, minus football. Okay, so I said all that to say now that we are, what, 3 seasons in, Jackson State, congratulations. I should have started out by congratulating Jackson State on winning their SWAC, their Southwestern Athletic Conference championship. But this is what I want to say. I entitled this stream Leveling the Playing Field, Narrowing Minds. Okay, this is another one of my contentions. Okay, I feel that many people, they were invested in this. You can talk about Coach Prime, you can talk about his past, must be the money. You can talk about, his successes or whatever. But, other people have motivations that I don't think that are quite in line either. I think that a lot of people are invested in Jackson State for the wrong reasons. Okay? They were invested in his journey for the wrong reasons. They're more in love with the advancement and the influence that Deion Sanders had on the program than they actually are of what the bigger picture. And that's what I'm talking about, the narrowing of minds. Okay, if he's trying to level the playing field, why does your mind and why does your motivation and why does the conversation get more and more narrow? The ad hominem tax, it's been his time there has been full of people attacking him, but not attacking the problems, not attacking the problems. I just saying, that's what I'm saying. Like, but some people are stuck. They are stuck. They're in the same place that they were when he stepped onto the scene. Emotionally, these people are in the same place. Emotionally, they're still in the same place. Their minds are still mentally, they're still in the same place. He cannot advance. You cannot move people out of, you cannot move an entire group of people or lead an entire group of people if they were never really open to the big picture to begin with. Okay? I'm going to tell you this. This is what my concern is about the Black community. I feel that we're always looking for a savior. When we can't find it in these politicians, we're looking at these stars, these fake fraudulent celebrities. We're looking at athletes, we're looking at entertainers, we're looking to all of this. But what are we doing? How are we elevating and bringing and moving the conversations forward ourselves? How are we doing that in a smaller unit? At what point do you take responsibility on a smaller level? Do everything that you can do. Okay, without the celebrity, without the glam, without the NFL, that's possible too. So my point is, I just think that as a community, as a group of people, that blacks or African Americans, we engage a little bit too much in the group think, and we're absolutely invested in emotions. Okay, football is not the only industry that can move Black people forward or that can move Black people into excellence. It is not. And to me, that is one of the biggest insults. To me, that is one of the biggest, the perception is very narrow. Okay, it would be very narrow, I think, to the founders of the HBCUs in the early ni- in the late, I mean, in the early 19th century. I mean, the mid to the late 19th century. I think all of that, the teachers' colleges, the presidents that came after that, that is quite insulting. That after all the toil and after all of the academic work, all of the academia, and all of the great ideas and the development of great ideas and the great and all of the ideas in academia, that we are still stuck as a group of people on football as the talent that we have to use, that we can't. We are too limited. We're limiting ourselves to an institution. Now, it's also a little bit of double speak in there, a little bit of double talk, contradicting, because the same people that cry about, oh, the white man this, the white man that, the white man, but you're still begging for some type of approval rather than establishing your own standard of excellence. Your standard of excellence should not be determined by how many people go to HBCUs, or how many. It should not be determined how many HBCUs create a pipeline to the NFL. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, it's over. It's over. He's going. He's going. He's going. He's gone." That is not. I'm telling you, that is a narrow. How much more narrow-minded can you be? What is it about? We all know that this is the thing that's really sad. It's really quite juvenile. It's really immature. You even have many kids, you have many kids, preteens, children that think they're going to go to the NFL. And that's been an issue even since when I was a young teenager and a child. We know the percentage of people that are actually going to go to the NFL it's not large. And the career longevity is even shorter. So why is this continuing to be at the forefront of why it's like it's an illusion, like it's a short-lived dream for those who have the success with it. Okay, I'm just saying, I've said this before. Imagine what success if the people, or the culture, as they love to say, promoted other disciplines with the same type of nurture and the same type of energy. Imagine what kinds of you could have different conversations that you, from crying out loud, you could have a different level of success in the world. Okay, I'm just saying. The other thing about it is I want to go to is that I think there's a problem with idolatry. I mean, I really do. And see, I just want to, whether you're spiritual or not, I'm just saying, like, if I had opened this up, if I wanted to open this up, if I wanted to open this up and says, "Thus says the Lord, cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his strength, whose heart turns away from the Lord." Okay, well, I'm saying that most people, the same people that are in these bread bowls, they swear they say they know scripture. Oh, they believe about. To me, I think more people believe about scripture and spirituality and God than they believe in it or believe in Him. Okay, because it's it's the opposite. They don't live these examples. They don't move these examples forward. They don't. And I'm saying a man is not your savior. They are not a man. Deion Sanders is not anybody's savior. He's not. And if you want to measure his time or his tenure, so to speak, at Jackson State and say, oh, it was a failure. Oh, he didn't save us all. He didn't level the playing field. Then where are you? I mean, it's really I'm telling you, it's really quite concerning what's happening here. There's going to be people are upset, people are angry, people are saying, talking, speaking the words of, people are using words like abandonment, people are using words like pimp, people are using words like, oh, I'm disappointed, oh, I'm this, I'm that, oh, it was all a lie, it was all a dream. Some people might even say F a dollar in a dream. But I'm sorry, it's a sad day. It's a sad day for it's a sad day for a nation of people. Deion Sanders is going to be just fine. Okay? Jackson State, the HBCU, are going to continue to be what they are. You know, I will say just some examples from all the conversations that were had. A lot of people, I think they were bullying. I think they did a lot of bullying because there's a lot of corrupt stuff that goes on in the HBCU. A lot of corrupt stuff. And I'm telling you, it's just as greasy, it's just as grimy as the politicians and the systems and the institutions in this nation. A lot of these HBCUs and these academic directors and these money change tables, they did not want to see they don't want the type of model that's equivalent to a Power Five, because that means some of the money changing tables would change. And see, that's what I'm saying. You can't level the playing field without leveling the money change table. You can't do that. They want you to level the playing field, Prime. Come on, level the playing field. But you know what that also means? You got to bring that level of that money changing table up too. And that means some things could very well be just redistributed, and that also means if things are not on the level, that means some people are going to get cut out. Okay? There was a lot of talk about the classics, money games versus this and versus that. A lot of people call tradition this is what I've talked about quite a bit. I've talked about this when it comes to about a lot of institutions and structures in our country. We have a serious problem. We don't know the difference between illusions and traditions. What you think is a tradition is actually more of an illusion. But there are structures in place. There are structures in place. There are skeletons in place that people don't even know about. Hi, Uncool Paranoia. I'm gonna be on here. Here's my confession, my friends. I crashed out earlier, and then I woke up. I got some much needed rest, and I got back on. But I'm telling you, it's a bad day when the conversation really never really went that far from park. It might have went to neutral. It went from level the playing field to not even neutral. It's back in park now. So, like I said, Coach Deion Sanders is going to be just fine. But I say, I learned this long time ago, and this is something that even my late father would say. You say, never put your trust in man. And that's not. This is not a dig at Deion Sanders. This is just to be. This is for everything. This is for every institution. And we get caught up in the traditions of man all the time. whether they're right or wrong. And what's you notice if you try to direct somebody, if you try to direct somebody from the traditions of man, oh wow, you just a hater, you just don't want to do that. We just having fun, we just drawing, we just enjoying life. I'm telling you, I don't even know what's the scripture. Somebody give it to me. What is it? Because I tell you the truth, I'm your enemy. I'm telling you, I'm just saying, I'm not, like I said, let's just be clear. This is not a dig at Dion. I will say Dion has endured a lot. Okay. This is not a defense. I'm saying, you can't, nobody, it's not even fair when you think about it. You can't put the HBCU on the back of Coach Deion Sanders. Because I'm going to say this first and foremost. Deion Sanders has a family, and Deion Sanders is going to take care of his family. I absolutely applaud him, and I respect him for that. Okay? But when you think about all the problems in the city of Jackson, you think about the crime surrounding that university. The Deion Sanders was a victim of a crime, or at least a very, yeah, he had an issue with crime on arrival. There was a boombox issue, and a lot of people were pissed at Deion for even addressing people and saying, hey, my item is missing. Or when he spoke out even further and say, hey, after the game, let's not have violence. Can we just lead in respect and love and safety for each other as a group of people? A lot of people attacked him for that. But if you really were starving for such a leader, then that means your mind would have been open, right? You would have at least been open, to hear what he had to say. But it seems like it seems like most things that he tried to move the conversation forward and try to give people try to give the community, try to give the city, tried to give the industry a bigger picture on, he was attacked for it. As they say, he couldn't even turn people on to any kind of economic game, any type of business game. He could not turn people on to more of a moral game. It's like, okay, well, you guys talk about, oh, well, he's doing this and that for these young men. Okay, well, he couldn't even do that. He wasn't able to do that for grown men. And now, I'm sorry, that's a much bigger problem. That's not a Deion Sanders problem. And I'm just saying, it would be nice if people would stop looking to one man and start look within yourself. Like I say this all the time, something that I learned. If we just look at our own room, if we just clean up our own room, if we just do those few things that we know individually we need to do every single day, if we just handle that, then you're already a step further in the game, so to speak. You're already ahead. But we don't do that. We want to look around, we want to look outside and point fingers and blame other people because we're not here, we're not there. Da, 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 da. I'm saying, I'm telling you, this narrow mind stuff, but here's my other thing. Here's my other concern. Let me say this. Shout out to Uncool Paranoia. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Okay, so she gave me the scripture. This is Galatians 4:16, the King James Version. It says, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth? And some people want to use Deion's words against him. Now I'm going to tell him, I'm going to say this. This is what I would say. I'm not Deion Sanders. He's not my leader, and I don't act and think like him, and nor does he act and think like me. But you must know that I would not invoke the Lord's name when it comes to a position in life. Professionally, I would not. Because like the public, the people that are hanging on to, dare I say, the fandom or the culture personalities, they hang on to every word. And now they want to use those words, weaponize the words against you, you know. But a lot of people, oh, it's all about a bag, it was all, well, as I was saying, he's going to take care of his family. He's going to do something for himself, and he's going to take care of his family. Okay? Like I said, there's been a lot. He has, as a man, as a father, he's endured a lot at that. A lot of what he's endured, many people probably don't even know about it. Not to mention his health, and I'm not even going to go into that. What I will say, I'm kind of a little bit all over the place. I have found a study. I will tell you, Deion Sanders could have moved a much bigger conversation forward, and he didn't do that. And I think I understand. I understand why. Okay, Deion Sanders, his medical situation is a conversation. There's been a complete study done on the amount of clotting that happened to him and what is believed to be the reason why. And I think you guys on this channel, you already know. You already know. Neon Deion, there's an article, there's a study that brought people to, nobody talks about it. Nobody's talking about it. But global research, there is an article on Neon Deion and what exactly happened to him. And a lot of people, a lot of people, the medical community thinks that particular conversation, if he wants to, they think he could help a lot of people if he would just tell people what exactly happened to him. It's not all about a turf toe, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, I suspected that from the beginning. Is that, the story that was being told and then I'm going a different direction. The story was being told that, oh, well, he had a turf toe when he was in the NFL and da 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 da. Okay, but how long did he have the turf toe, ladies and gentlemen? And how long has Deion Sanders been in retirement, ladies and gentlemen? You actually believe that a turf toe all of a sudden sprung up and caused that man, the complications with a turf toe would bring this man almost damn near to an amputee status? If you want to keep that energy up, you won't convince me. Nobody convinced me with that. Okay, and now that after I found this particular study and out of global research about Neon Deion, it breaks it down. It talks about what actually happened to him. And it also talks about, the proclivities even in his family history for what actually happened to him. So a lot of people think that Deion could move. He could help a lot of people if he would tell people exactly what happened. In fact, there will be studies on people. I'm paraphrasing from that particular article. There will be studies on people that promoted such a mocktail, and the results psychologically. What happens to a person that promotes a quote scientific measure, an unconventional, well, I'm going to say, maybe let's say an unconventional and unorthodox. Let's put it like this: an unorthodox procedure or injection. What's happening to those people? Because he struggled. I'm going to say he struggled. He's been struggling for over 2/3 of his time in this tenure. But that's not going to be talked about. And like I said, I think I get it. I think I understand why. But I'm just saying that aside from the medical debacle, that he endured a lot. Okay, he endured a lot. But I do believe that he is a strong supporter of his family, top to bottom. That is his first priority. And it should be. It should be. I also think there's safety. Now, I'm going to close this out also. Hi, Belinda. I'm also going to close this out with, now that's my next concern. I remember some other quotes from my dad. Sometimes, sometimes people you can't be done worse than by your own people. Now, I sincerely hope, because this has been a concern of mine, even with the dynamics and the ebbs and flows of what goes on at Jackson State and the city of Jackson. I've always been concerned about the safety, not only for Deion Sanders, but the safety of his children. I think personally, it was a huge risk for him to bring them all there. And I really did. That, like, okay, first you had your two sons there, your two younger sons there, and then you bring your oldest son there, and then you got your daughter there. Okay, so you've got 4 out of the 5 of your children there. But believe me, people will react to his decision. Some people will say that they respect his decision, but they'll be right there. You know, they will wish ills. They will begrudge him, and they will. Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna tell you, like, I have a real serious concern about people. If they figure, if they can't have you, won't do what they want you to do. If they can't have you, nobody else is gonna have you. Now that is my concern. I've seen this man be disrespected amongst other HBCUs, and I know that culture. I know that particular culture on a personal level. Is it right? No. Is it just? No. Is it moral? No. Is it ethical? No. But I'm telling you, I would suggest that he get out of that city and out of that state as soon as possible. And I would say you need to take your children with you. This is an emotional. This is a loaded situation. Front and back loaded. And I think his kids, they need to go as soon as he does. Nobody needs to lag around. There doesn't need to be a first and a last. It needs to be, you guys need to pack it up at the same time, because there will be backlash. Am I saying it's going to be physical? I won't rule it out. I'm not from Jackson. I don't know all the people of Jackson. No, I can't speak for all the people of Jackson, but I can say that there are people out here that will do anybody harm. Okay, that's exactly what I'm saying. But in this environment, people when you have nothing. Some people, when they don't have anything to lose, what will they do? They will lose it. And if that means it brings you to a loss, then you'll be lost too. So I would say, I would suggest he be smart about this. And I've said this before, when all this talk came up about it, he wasn't SWAC and all of this stuff. You need to get out of there while you still can. You need to get out of there while your kids can still get out of there with their safety intact. You need to do that. You gotta put the platitudes aside. And I do think that he has a level of security. I think he always has. In fact, I would even go so far as to say that I think that his oldest son has been a level of security, because I'm going to tell you that ASU game versus JSU. I'm just saying, like, you gotta, like, I would even tell those kids, you guys are protect your dad at all costs and get out of that city. Get out of there, because you better believe he's gonna have some words. There's going to be some provocation. There's going to be some provocation. I would hope for it. I would not like to see it, but I'm a realist. I'm a cynic, and then I think I'm a realist. Let's just be real about it. If you're going to Colorado, you need to go there as soon as possible. Pack your things, get your moving company to take care of all the moving, get them to move your kids' things. Get them to move your house, sell your house, or what. I don't know if he was actually buying that home in Jackson, but he needs to get out of there. Get out of there ASAP. Because I'm going to tell you, it could be the most unlikely Something could be, the provocation could come from somebody, the most unlikely person. It could be. Now, I don't want to go into the industry, the Nipsey Hustles and da 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 and da 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 da. No, but I'm telling you, there's a consequence for going back into, quote, our communities at times. But the problem is, just like the thing about evil, the pastor says you don't know the day, time, or hour when evil comes your way. I would say that would be sufficient. You don't know when it's coming your way, and you don't know who it will be. You don't know what the source of it is. So I would suggest he gets out of there ASAP. Now I don't now the Celebration Bowl that happens in Atlanta. I don't know if that mean he's going to if he's going to stick it out until then. To me personally, I don't know why this announcement had to be done before their season was completely done. I guess logistically maybe it had to be, but like I said, the provocation. You've got two sons playing. Um, you've got two sons playing on that team. I will say I think there was some disadvantage to his kids playing there because if they were high level recruits themselves, they haven't had they were not going to be because of what was it, the Heisman, I think, was the last conversation. The Heisman Trophy, the Heisman candidacy. I think perhaps if his son were playing in a Power 5, maybe he would have had a different ranking in that. I don't know the ranking systems, but I'm sure like anything else, the ranking systems can be manipulated. But I think that maybe even it's, considering that maybe he wants them also to have an opportunity to to reach other heights or to be considered in these other conversations. He knows that pipeline. I don't. But I think there's more to this here for him. He has to be a provider. He has to be a mentor. He has to be all these things. And then he's also having to be a coach. So, like I said, all I wish him all the best. But like I said, I just think that because of the nature of where he is and the nature of some of the things that have happened to him during this football season, I think a lot of these HBCU coaches they're all probably having a party because that means they don't have to step their game up anymore. That means that if things just will go right back to the way that they were. Because at the end of the day, they didn't really want the kind of energy. They didn't really want the kind of competitiveness or they don't want a different vision. They don't want that. They don't want even another type of they didn't want another type of prosperity or economic prosperity. They didn't want that. Because that means if you're embracing change or if you learn better, you're going to have to do better, right? And if we realize that we can do things differently to get a better outcome, then that means a lot of people are going to have to change what they're doing, right? A lot of people don't want that. They say they want it, but at the end of the day, they want their traditions, they want their illusions. They want their traditions, they want their illusions. And that means any levels of corruption will continue. High school football fields and track fields will continue to look better than HBCUs. Field houses will continue to look better than HBCUs. High school field houses will continue to look better. I'm just saying. Listen, listen. I'm just saying. Let me see who's still here. Thank you guys for entertaining me. Uncool says comfortable lives are so much easier for people. Oh my gosh, yes, yes. I mean, I'm gonna tell, and I don't go into this a whole lot, but I'm third generation HBCU myself. I am third generation HBCU myself. I don't talk about that on this channel. I don't, But there you go. I am also I am also a I'm also a third generation educator. So I'm not, so when I see people being disingenuous about the original missions when it comes to the HBCU, when people try to pretend like, oh, it's about leveling the playing field and we're not getting our fair shot. Well, it was not, it was never intended to be the pipeline. It was never intended. And that's what and that and I think Dion was smart to stay away from that conversation. Because I do think he does have integrity at the end of the day. Yes, he does. You may not agree with him on many things, but I think he didn't try to keep that argument going because I think he knew there were enough holes in it. I think he left that, you know, we rarely have people from academia come to the forefront with all their expertise and just put it down and be honest about it. Let's just be honest about this thing. If you want to have a movement, if you want a movement or if you want an institution for football, then why don't we just set that up? But please do not put the HBCU, what was a teacher's college, which was meant to be a teacher's college originally, on the front of that. I mean, it's not just HBCUs, but many institutions were teachers' colleges. It was about the education of teachers, teaching teachers how to become teachers, and those teachers would then teach other people. I mean, for crying out loud, it's like people want to be a victim of history, but they also want to benefit from the they want to have a victim shower. The same thing that they say that's destroying them is the same thing that's promoting them. But what are you going to have? I mean, for starters, I mean, many of our institutions just like just take out the HBCU part. I mean, many institutions or a lot of education was agricultural. It was agricultural or agrarian. Our economies were agrarian. People knew how to take care of livestock and crops. And in many cases that was a part of that culture. So when people say things, I'm telling you, that was my biggest concern about him going into this situation was that, are we going to tell the truth about the history of the HBCU? If we're not, I don't want anything to do with this. But I noticed he didn't keep that narrative going. But the people, on the other hand, they still don't quite get that football is not the only thing that black people can excel at. It's not the only way. Okay, if you want to say, I mean, the average person's not going to the NFL. No, the average kid out here throwing a football every day, playing pee wee football, they're not going to the NFL. But these kids think they are wholeheartedly. I run into kids every day. I run into kids every day. They tell the janitor, "Oh, psh, man, I don't have to listen to you. I'm going to the NFL." In 2021, I mean 2022, you still got kids carrying on like that. I'm just saying. But where does that come from? Where does that come from? I mean, it's the opportunity itself is elite, but they somehow want to, but the narrative is not. The narrative is they fight against the elite, but then they still want the same things that the elite have. It's like, but when are you going to stop? When are you going to realize that this is a system? When are you going to realize that? Do I have some concerns about? Yeah, I have concerns. I've got my whatever. I I don't know. Dion's affiliations at times. I've questioned that. I have my own whatever's about that. But for in this case, I think he owes the HBCUs nothing. He didn't owe them anything to begin with, but he will be mocked for that. He will be mocked for that. I've heard people say, "Oh, he loves white. He's got to have that white people approval." Then they drive, but they want it too. You want it too, boo boo. You like it, Dion, but you want it too. Come on, can't you see it? So yeah, I mean, we're all made to love the elite wealth and to love their image and to to not appreciate our own images. We appreciate ourselves less, or our own images less because of that. It's a hypocrisy. And after a while, even some of this white man narrative gets to be okay. You guys got a lot of holes in the Swiss. It's turning into Swiss cheese because as they say, in one regard, you're criticizing the white man for not accepting, but accepting something about you, as you say you, but then you're also begging him at the same time. You're begging for his acceptance at the same time too. So watch it, easy, easy. Once you put it out there, it's out there. It's been out there for years. But what my thing is that I just wish that the idolatry and putting all your hopes in one person, I think that that's dangerous. I really do. I think that it's dangerous, and I do think that the social media webs are buzzing. They're probably be super buzzing tomorrow because I heard there's actually going to be an official announcement tomorrow. But I did see an official announcement amongst the players at JSU. I've heard about the transfer portal. And I heard about the kids. They're saying they're going to jump in the transfer portal and da 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 da. And he's already trying to deter them from that. Well, I he said he was advising the kids to come and talk to him. But you see, that's the thing about all of this. The minute that people, I'm going to tell you, it's a psychology. The minute that people find out you're leaving, your credibility is shot, and the ears are closed. They've already, if those kids are talking about jumping in the transfer portal, you better believe they're going to the transfer portal because the fans have already talked about it, the parents have already talked about it, the players have already talked about it. Just like he's moving forward, they're going to move forward too. But I'm telling you, I always, especially when you're dealing with young teens, preteens, young adults, the minute they find out that you're leaving, that you're about to depart from them professionally or whatever, you're done. Everything that you do, your voice you'll be heard differently if you're heard at all. They are going to do what they want. They're going to do what they choose to do. I've heard him mention about opportunity. Well, they're going to be looking for opportunities too. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, well, these kids, you got all these kids to come here. They had opportunities to play at other schools, and da 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 da, and they came here to you because they want to play for you, and da 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 da." It's not. I just think it's not going to matter. It's not at the end. It's not going to matter because they've already made up their minds. Melinda says it's always about power, control, and greed. Yes, it is. Watchman's here. Good morning to you. And Uncool Paranoid says facts, they will lose it. Yes, they will. And like, look, I'm not, so before anybody paints me with a brush, say, oh, she's putting down black people. Blah, 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 blah. See, that's the sad thing. It's like you can't even turn people you can't turn them on to deception, or you can't turn people on to get them to even open up their minds a little bit, to get them to see there's a bigger picture here. And a lot of people missed it in his tenure. They missed it. They create a lot of people, the fans created whatever illusion they wanted in their own minds. And now that it's not going out their way, oh, it's betrayal. Oh, it's deception. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Oh, you're chasing the white man's bag. Oh, you're doing this. Oh, you need white man validation. Oh. But you didn't mind him using the white man's validation, or you didn't mind him using white man's uh his influence. You didn't mind him using his Under Armour endorsements or his partnerships. You didn't mind him using his his networks to pull that school's facilities up. You didn't mind that, right? But hey, that's not what that but that's not is that not related? Is that not associated with white people? I'm just saying, folks, this stuff gets real contradictory. It gets real talking out of both sides of your behind. It really does. So to me, if you didn't build it, then where you gotta get where what you got a problem with where you the source of it. I just I'm just saying. Now I'll say this: a lot of people have allegedly donated to the HBCUs. They've donated to Jackson State, but what I'm hearing is that when people have given generously to the university, it goes into a general fund. Okay, well, God knows what happens when something goes into a quote general end quote fund. What happens to that? Does that mean that the money doesn't go directly? Probably. Well, can you just give to the program, to the athletic program? I don't know. I don't know what their protocols or what their structure is in place. But I know that Dion has actually purportedly, he's used some of his own salary. Like, it's like, my gosh, he's used some of his own salary to bring those facilities up. That's not something that you hear every day. But then how can he be tasked to do that when he's actually got 5 kids? They're not babies, they're not toddlers, no. But he has a standard of living that I think that he wants to provide not only for them, but Deion Sanders is not that's not Neon Dion anymore. That's the senior citizen Deion Sanders. He knows he's not going to live forever. So I would just say, that he's going to do what he needs to do, and he's going to have to put himself first. He's going to have to put himself back into this. Now, like I said, I don't know if I never agreed with him invoking God when he said, oh, God called me to do this. Oh, God said this, and I took the call, collect, and da 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 da. To me, that's hype. And I think it's, I don't even, to me, it's something else too. To me, I think a lot of people use the name in vain. I don't like the hype man, invocation. I don't care for that at all. Because, of course everybody's browbeating him with that. So I'm just saying. But I just can't deal with the narrow mindedness. Like, it just seems like if we can't have an NFL pipeline, then we're doomed. If Deion Sanders can't do it, no one can. I just can't. I can't deal with it. Oh my gosh! I'm gonna tell you, like I said, there's some motivations in there that I've got my own ideas about. I don't care for the invocation that he uses. I don't, because to me, it's more important to be a living example of things rather than to be flashy, rather than to be hype man. I just don't. It's not right. It's not right. It's not right in the sense not so much about the betrayal of it for the people. It's about, okay, do you really, it's like you're cheapening, or it's blasphemous to me on levels. Like, just don't do that. But I would imagine that, If any, like, say for instance, like, this is the kind of experience that only a person can reflect on that have actually worked at HBCUs. Okay, and I do have that experience as well. So I'm not talking out of my ass here. Okay, I'm not. Like I said, like every institution has issues, but our HBCUs are, they have their own. There's a whole nother set of issues going on there, and I say you're either part of the problem or you're the solution. Part of the solution. And sometimes you have to walk away once you realize that the way things, once you realize the powers, a lot of people don't, they claim they want change. They claim they want leveling playing fields. They say that, but they don't want to let go of their quote traditions and their illusions and their deceptions and they don't want to let go of that. They don't. And especially if there's money involved and corruption. Oh my gosh, no. No. It will not change. It will not change. And I'm gonna be honest, I think deep down Dion knows. He could stay like, but I say this to the fans, if not now, when? Oh well, he said he was gonna stay until he leveled the playing field. Oh, he said this, he said he was gonna do this, he said he was gonna do that, da, 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 da. Well, when does that happen? When does that happen? When was that gonna happen? That could be a lifetime, right? So so to me, it's a misnomer to say it's a leveling of the playing field because that's not actually what you're doing, right? You're not. It's not something that's going to happen. Or it's not, you wouldn't leveling the playing field wouldn't happen overnight. What would it take? 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? I'm going to be honest. I'm just saying from a personal perspective, I'd be more concerned about Deion Sanders' health. Is what I would be. I would be more concerned about that. To me, because honestly, I think that he has struggled health wise. He's not. I don't think he's in great shape health wise. I don't. And I gave you guys a reference from something I suspected a long time ago, and I found it in global research. Global research has given a pretty good, their argument. They have they, to me, they have the best medical argument for mocktails and what actually happened to him. It's well done, but he's not going to talk about that because I think he's very much a part of the system himself. For all the great things and all the good things that I saw him pouring into that program, if he had done that, to me, he would. To be a man of the people, you got to break. You got to. Sometimes you have to break with. You got to break with that, right? You got to break with the system, but he's not going to do that. He's not. It would be an absolute firestorm. Subconsciously, I'm sure he would love to talk. I don't know. Subconsciously, psychologically, he'd probably love to talk to somebody about what actually happened. But is he going to do that? No. Not with all the endorsements and the influence that he has and what's been bestowed upon him. No, he will not. But so was it Colorado that he's going to? All right, so guys, I don't normally get into a lot of sports, but I do talk. I will talk. I have, like I said, I have refrained from talking about HBCUs on such a personal level, but I gave you a couple of nuggets tonight. I did, but I think that everybody, and it's not done. And like I said, I'm not going to do too much coverage on this, but I think there's a bigger picture here. That's why I did it. I brought it up because I think it's also it's kind of a testament to Okay, so we've talked. I said we're gonna do a stream. We're gonna do a persuasion propaganda pendulum. We're gonna do that. Okay, I'm gonna give you the information. Anarchy, how are you? Thanks so much for coming in. He says he's gonna bring his trapper keeper. But Dion was a testimonial. Okay, Dion had a testimonial appeal for the HBCUs. Okay, he's media trained. He understands, I think, economics. He understands that system, the pipeline. He understands the benchmarks. Okay, uh, but I'm just saying. I am just saying. So I appreciate you guys so much for coming in. Let's see who's all here. Uncool says, yeah, people do a lot of talking. Change won't happen though. The Simone Watchman says, you smell that too, Beef Spray. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But but I'm telling, but listen, I'm gonna tell you, like, what you guys. I just want to thank you guys. I just want to thank you guys. Dare I call you the black? I would never refer to you as the Black Spring with Autumn family. Maybe I don't know. That might be a little bit thick. But I want to thank you guys for turning me on to symbolism and the transfer. Okay, to me, I've learned a lot from you guys, and I've learned, but I've also I happen to I'll ask God. I'll say, God, show me what I need to see today. Please show me what I need to see. Let me hear what I need to hear, and let me see what I need to see. As people will say, years ago, people say, ask God to show you. Ask God to show you this, and this. And it wasn't until this community, I think, I think I was tuned up even more to see that it's happened. Okay, so I will say, I'm going to say this: I have seen these athletes make signs and all kinds of. They drop symbolism everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're within the sound of my voice, what does the sign? What happens with this when somebody makes the triangle with their hands? What does that mean? When they make the sign, when you see a celebrity, an athlete make a triangle with their hand, what does that mean? And I'm saying I've seen this particular sign being made on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And I said, yeah, I'm just saying, just because somebody is throwing the word God around doesn't mean like which God, which God. Because I'm telling you right now, you see people are invoking a lot of things, and a lot of them aren't being, they're not being sly about it. Okay, so Uncool says that's the capstone of the pyramid. Okay, so I've seen Mr. Sanders make that. If you go to Sports Illustrated, I saw him make that particular symbol with his hand on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He did that earlier this year. And so I just want to thank you guys for that. Uncool says the Eye of Horus symbol, like the back of the dollar bill. Yes. Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like I want to thank you guys for, for giving me another piece, putting that other piece. And I think sometimes, I think God will show us things, even if he shows us, even if he points us to another person and that person shows it to us. But on a daily basis, I will say I can see a lot, and I ask for it. I ask for discernment. I do. But I just want to thank you guys for being. I think you guys have been a catalyst for that, and you guys are inspiring, and you are. But I am. But like I say, there are a lot of dark things out there. But I want to say that I think I'm going to do a sanity stream. I mean, there's a lot of There's a lot of content out here right now. Um, a lot. It's like I'm trying to get through all these, trying to get through all the Christmasisms. I really am. Let's see, who else is in here? Am I missing something? Let's see. Uncool says it's paying homage to the controllers. Thank you, Uncool. Liz says actions always speak louder than words. Exactly. Yes, yes. I see. That's what I'm saying. It's like I think that's why he will never disclose. He went from being a huge supporter of the mocktail, and in fact, he brought Walmart to that school to promote that. And it was like he did all of that, and all of a sudden it was just nothingness. No, he went down. He went down. But I'm just saying. But you guys know that campaign's not over, right? You know that. I've said this for a long time. That campaign would not, it's like it's a scab. It's kind of like oh, it's an oppressive kind of a did I say oppressive? It's like a scab. There'll always be the CV-19 boogeyman. It's gonna be with us. I don't know for how long, but it's a scab. You can always pull it off, right? You can pull that scab off. It'll simmer down for like 9 months or so, 12 months, and then if somebody pulls the scab off, you get a case, and then the scab, and then it just it ignites the whole thing. It just blows up, emotionally, just like everything else that they weaponize against people. That will always be a wet scab. Time might cover it. A little bit of time, but just like they've got to have that scab. They got to be able to pull that scab back. And they're pulling it off right now. Believe me, it's about halfway. Maybe not halfway off. They're not halfway, but they're working on that. Or something else I wanted to bring up, and it just escapes me just that quickly. No, uncool says the math. Oh yeah, well Garcetti and his goons. Anarchy says also do some more panel talk type streams. It's interesting to get into the conversation. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Anarchy, that's coming for sure. But I'm telling you, there are so many things I would love to get into. There are so many things I'd love to get into. But I will say that they are pulling the scab back. Like I said, it's not going to go away. You gotta have you gotta have a boogeyman. This is our 21st century boogeyman. He's not going to go away. He won't. Now I also have some things I want to share. What I'm going to do is I've talked to you guys a little bit about Pluto TV. I think I might go ahead and do that. I'm going to pull, I'm telling you, I look, this might be, I've seemed to be seeing upside down crosses. Even, yeah, it's twisted. It's real twisted what they will do, what marketing will do. It's only because of my own background that I'm able to like kind of pull out some of this stuff. And to me, that's another level of discernment, and I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful. But I'm going to show you some of the propaganda. I think the propaganda stream, I would like for you guys to answer the propaganda questions with the pendulum, but I know some of them, it won't quite happen that way. I know it won't because we can't help ourselves. we can't. We can't help ourselves. Thank you so much, Uncool, for putting that in for us. I mean, Yeah, well, I just keep seeing all these sudden death situations coming up lately with these more athletes and more random people. I keep seeing it come up. But yeah, I'm just saying, the people that are in these positions, they're not going away, and they're going to keep this up. In fact, I think that a lot of it will come back to the black community because they understand the demand. They understand fear. They understand what fear does to the black community as well. And they used their tools. They used their people to influence the people out here, and that won't go away. Now Dion might be done with it, but they'll just use somebody else. They'll just use somebody. I don't know who would it be. Who would it be? Now I'm gonna tell you the truth. It's probably gonna cool all the way down. They're gonna the cool the It'll cool all the way down. They'll label him a sellout for going to Colorado, uh, and then the SWAC will go back to business as usual. Okay, it'll go back to business as usual. Now, I didn't say that about the football team. Now, some people have said, "Oh, well, they're going to go back to losing. They'll just go back to losing." But I'm just saying it is going to happen. But like I said, I'm gonna, I'm gonna put, I'm gonna have to do a stream because I'm starting to get a little bit behind. Now, the symbolism kind of a stream is one. Like I've got quite a few things that I wanted to do, but then also I think the persuasion, propaganda persuasion, survival, the toolkit. We're gonna do that because I've already got one person that's interested, that's expressed interest in the panel on that, and I've said this for you guys: send me what you have, bring your own, PP, bring your own propaganda to this thing. Okay, show it to us. All right, bring it whenever you're ready. Okay, bring that. That'll be fun. But what I'm saying is, it's like all the dark stuff. Uh, I like what they're doing with the cartoons. The cartoons are injected with this dark stuff. These schools are injected with the dark stuff. You guys know when the mocktail came out, we saw in the cartoon that they created that the cartoon character was wearing an upside down cross. All right, now I told you about Pluto TV. I like the shows that are on Pluto TV because they're quite throwbacks. Okay, they're quite throwbacks, but at the same time, they knew it was brilliant. The celebrities are very much invested in Pluto TV because why? It's free and they know they are going to reach people that are really, they're going to reach the common man. The common man, like myself, is going to go to Pluto TV for some free entertainment. Even if it's throwback entertainment, we're going to go there. We like it. We can't get enough of it. Okay? But there's also going to be an opportunity to inject more propaganda. There's going to be an opportunity to inject fear. Oprah has made an appearance on Pluto with commercials. She's at the forefront of this one particular situation I'm going to show you. Okay. I also have talked about how Pluto has quite a few. No, I've also saying that the streaming. I'm beginning to think that the free streaming apps are themselves a portal. Entertainment, the apps are portals themselves. These apps are injecting their agenda. They're using it as a tool for their agenda. They're reaching the common man. They're reaching the public. Whether you choose to pay for I said pay cable prescriptions. Whether you choose to pay for cable subscriptions or not, but if you go to these streaming apps, You will find all of these celebs, all of these celebs have, like, will I say they slithered on? No, they're on there by design. Oprah's not on mainstream TV anymore. No, because they knew where she could be utilized. They could leverage these celebrities against people on free streaming apps. Okay, free streaming networks, Pluto TV, Tubi TV, Crackle TV, Filmrise TV. They know they're reaching the common man, common core, common man. Yeah, do a number on them. They don't have anything to offer. So I'm just saying. So I want to get into that. That's what I'd like to get into today. Yes. So, yeah, me too. I cannot, yeah, the women of Brewster Place. Yes. Okay. Yeah, seriously. But yeah, that, but I will tell you also the children, they are reaching the children, they're reaching the youth as well. These free streaming apps, yeah, there's nothing free, my friends. There's nothing free. Okay, you get some entertainment. Okay, entertainment. They're gonna enter. Okay, but what else is gonna enter? What's gonna enter? What's gonna enter? So you got their what is it? The games? Is it Jackman Games? They're telling the kids to transport yourself into these games. Kids, come on, kids, transport yourself into these games. Now, I assume that's, was it PlayStation and all these, they got all the little symbols and whatnot on there. I don't know if it's through Oculus that you do that, but there's also the technology that we've been talking about. So right there, I'm hitting on three things. There's a Jack something game box. There is a fitness mirror that I'm going to bring that one out. So I want to keep these three things hot on the press. There's three things that I want to show that I've seen all on the streaming apps. I'm telling you, it's a system. It's all a system. In fact, I think the libraries that they use, the libraries that are being shifted around are very similar. You notice how if you go on to Tubi or if you go on to Crackle or if you go on to Netflix or whatever, they'll say, oh, fried green tomatoes, not on Crackle TV, not on Crackle, not on Pluto. Because there it's all set up. It's all set up together. It's a web, okay? It's a network. These apps are networks. They're going to entertain you. And whatever enters, it's going to hold on to you. But I'm going to get into that. I need to make sure I don't lose track of this because I want to do it today. I wanted to do it this morning, but who's up at this hour? I appreciate you guys for entertaining me. I appreciate that. But I want to show you some propaganda in some of the symbols here. I want to show you that. Yeah, I want to show you that. And hopefully they might try to ding me, even though this is dare I say, a gratuit, a free streaming. They might still try to ding me, say, hey, you can't. I might even put it on silent so that the almighty, the all-knowing AI doesn't ding me. Okay, so I'm telling you, they got something for and see, I'm going to tell you something else. You do know that there's an entire market of people. Like I said, the market of common man is vast when it comes to these free streaming networks and apps. You reach the elderly, who most of them, they can't afford to pay for television. So they're going to go to places like Pluto TV, which is huge. Pluto TV has a ton of things on there, okay? Not just past and throwbacks. Well, they got some pretty, right? I appreciate it, but you still got to recognize that there's propaganda and persuasion tactics on there. So you're going to reach the elderly, and they can vary. And fear is something that's all that it's timeless, right? Fear is timeless. Okay, so you're going to have the fear pouring on there. You're going to reach the elderly. You're going to reach our seniors with it. You're going to reach the children with the game box, the Jack game box. I'm going to get that together in a second. I got the imagery for you guys. I'm going to line it up for you. So when you see it, you know where it came from. So, Cool says all of these apps are added up to be as much, yeah, or more. I said, just to get one program. Like, if you guys are really being fair about this, you just let people pay for the networks that they really like, right? Just let me pay per network. Because I know I don't watch 500 channels. No. So what did they do instead? They figure they're gonna get their influence in. They brought Oprah out. They brought the Holy O out. They brought her into that's one of the things I could absolutely not stand. It irritated me to no end when I first started watching some of these apps a few years ago, even within the last 20 years. And I'm going to tell you the last 20 years, the last 2 or 3 years, since 2020, they have ramped up the availability. They've expanded the availability of these apps, the free apps. Now I'm on my free apps spiel right now. They've expanded the availability of them, and they've expanded the amount of entertainment on there. Okay? So now they're bringing out the big guns. Oprah Winfrey. Okay? They had a lot of political stuff on there, Action Now or whatever these programs, whatever this stuff is, these political things are on Pluto TV. Okay, I love the game show channel. These are relics from the past. We just can't get enough. So and I'm just saying, I don't watch OWN. Now that's her network, of course. I cannot stand. She has come full circle with all the people that came before her. You notice how the civil rights movement. There's so many holes in that. Oprah is doing her part. Now she is a part of the civil rights movement, okay? I wouldn't be surprised if they would put her in the textbooks that she's a civil rights leader. Okay? So she went from soccer moms to I'm gonna say I think she was a transcendentalist. I think she was a neo-transcendentalist. That's what I think she is. More along, she's in that circle, right? She's always trying to get everybody to eat, pray, and love, and your universal soul. She's in that. She was in that back then. Her little humble Chicago beginnings on the show. But now she's a civil rights leader. I don't care what anybody says. So her path has always been, she was always going to be the civil rights leader. Okay? And Candace Owens is going to be, that's the conservative Oprah as well. Now listen, that's your neo-conservative, that's your neo-Oprah Winfrey, okay? And she's a tool as well. Just saying. I mean, I'm trying not to get on the Kanye West situation because I think he's a tool as well. Okay. I'm trying. It's the same way I'm trying to avoid the more on the Balenciaga story. I'm kind of tired of that Balenciaga on the moon tonight story. I'm trying to stay out of that. I'm trying, okay? But I'm saying it's pretty soon when she winds up on there, they'll be calling her civil rights leader too. Now I'm just saying, watch history, watch his story, watch it. And I hopefully I save all of my, if I don't ever do another stream on YouTube, I need to save everything I've done from 2020 on. Because I'm telling you folks, That's a chapter in itself. Everything shift. We witnessed a shift in 2020, and I said that a long time ago. I said that a long time ago. The chaos became more rampant. The confusion became more rampant. Or could I say the Balenciaga? The Balenciaga. But I'm just saying, this is, I appreciate you guys for coming on here. But I'm saying one more story. Like, okay, what should we be what should we be looking at right now? And you see, they've got, shout out to Fran Shot. He said that they've got Kanye rattling the cage, and okay, what's Candace going to say about that? And then also, like the Brandon Tatums and all these little influencers. What do you guys have to say for yourselves? Your little networks, you guys, and all these. I'm telling you. Let me tell you something. If I had to be associated with these people, if this is where the YouTube and social media was going, I am so glad I never made it. I want to thank God. Hallelujah. Thank you for not letting me make it. I don't want to be associated with these people. I don't. I don't. Don't ever let me be a part of it. It was not real. It was an illusion. Social media fandom was never real. It's not real. It's not real. I had a lot. There's people that have been on my channel that are absolutely straight up. I don't know. They are. I don't know. They were absolutely loving Candace Owens, and my gosh, and when I kind of got irritated way back. This is the beginning of my, dare I call it, a tenure on YouTube. Don't ever compare me to CO. Don't ever compare me to Candace Owens. Please don't. Please don't do it. Just don't do it. And people were trying to do that back then. They really were. You never. I mean, I've met Candace Owens, yes, but you never. You don't see me creating trailers and crap with photos and crap of Candace Owens and stuff. No. Hell no. No, but I'm just saying, what's going on? Does everybody not see that things have shifted? Did they shift, or were they already? Did they shift or what? I mean, let's be accurate. Lady Candace Owens, okay? She's of the nobles, okay? Let's get it clear. Now, see, people aren't talking about that. Now, I'm gonna tell you now. You guys you take cover if you're sensitive right now. Now, I always found it interesting in the narrative, right? Oh, Candace, she's such a great American. Da 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 da. But I'm like, okay, but do you guys find it interesting or not odd that she's so American, she has so much to offer, yet she had to go all the way to the UK? She had to go all the way to the UK to marry somebody. And turns out her father-in-law is basically a financier, House of Commons. Her husband is basically going to be a baron. He's a baron or a lord. I'm just saying. Follow the money. Follow the money. And then I stand corrected. I said, oh, well, she actually thinks she's an elite. Well, she is now. She's married into it. She's a part of the 22nd century. Now that she's got, she's married, she's got kids with this farmer guy. So she is in, to me, she is a part of the central banking, the central banking nobles now, Lady Candace Owens. Now, if I dig around, I haven't put a whole lot of time in it, but I want to shout out Marcy T. But I always found it a little bit interesting how that whole union came about. and more of it's going to come out. Just it's just maybe it's just a little slow development, slow. But they probably want to keep that under wraps too, because like I told you, she's the conservative. She is the conservative Oprah, right? A lot of people don't want to. The MAGAs don't like her. Okay, the MAGA movement, they cannot stand her. Okay, because according to the MAGAs, she's a never Trumper. Once a never Trumper, always never Trumper. Okay. And then but now you still got this other faction of the quote conservatives that they hold on to her. In fact, Brandon Tatum, I think a lot of his success, he refers to her as his little sister. Okay, that's cute, right? But I think that she's a part of the success that keeps him up. She's a part of that lineage will be there. Okay. But I'm just saying, it's just interesting how everything's kind of turned, how things kind of materialize, right? They don't materialize out of nothing, out of nowhere. No, they don't. I know that. You know that. So let's see. What are my friends saying? Independent Minnie is here. So I'm just saying, just keep an eye on your little influencer. So let me go back a little bit here. Swing. Uncool. Gary's here. Hi, Gary Gage. I appreciate you guys for coming in. It's you guys are getting. I appreciate it. Let's see. Oh, I'm missing some real situations here. Okay. Let me go back here. Uncool. Let's see. Yeah, but I can't wait I think our next panel streams are gonna be fire. Okay, guys, I swear I'm not under any illusions or under any influences right now. It's just you guys are bringing out things that this is so needed. This is therapy. I say I had a really crazy week this past week. I had a really overwhelming kind of a week last week. So, and this is why I'm still here. This is why I can't give up this channel. And I'm thinking I need to put some more time into it, and let's try to bring it back. try to nurture it a little bit better. Let's see. I'm backing up here. Let's see. We've got some great people on here. I love the content creators in here. Strong, strong, strong. Thank you so much once again. Uncool. Let's see. Melinda says none of these people who are part of that system will never speak. Right, right. They don't care if it almost cost them their legs. No. Melinda says never. People hate to be made a fool. Yeah. Well, you just imagine these psychological studies that global research talks about. Can you imagine Can you imagine promoting something that almost cost you that? Uncool says panels are fun. I have to jump on other streams since I'm in fine out. Well, my thing is I support you, Uncool. I don't care what they do. I'm on here until my wheels come off, and I'll come over and I'll come over and fix a flat your wheel too. Anarchy Television says there are many people around the world that are protesting in many countries because of the boogeyman. That boogeyman. Anarchy says, let me jump over here. Chaos, magic, rituals, and weapons of mass distraction being deployed simultaneously. Yes, yes, yes. And I want to think, I'm telling you guys, we have to recharge, because I'm telling you, this stuff it's heavy, it's like a weight. So yeah, you guys need to bring your own propaganda. If you're going to come on, bring it. I'm going to bring some. I'm going to bring some old school ones. I'm going to give you the baseline. I'm going to give you Santa Claus with something in his hand. Okay? It is not Balenciaga. No, he will not be. Santa will not be in BDSMs and stuff like that with a purple eye and a blue eye. He won't. I won't do that. Let's see. Okay. I'll read these comments here. There you go, Uncool. She says, if it's free, you're the product. Amen. You got it. She says the gamification of everything, getting people used to turning themselves into avatars. Yes, yes, yes. Please, please, please. I'm gonna come on later today for sure. I need, I gotta. We need to do this. Uh, and of course, the pendulum will be out there today. So I've got about 3 targets I'm gonna hit, and it's gonna feature my friends over at Pluto TV. Some of that stuff, and then I'm telling you, like some of this technology that we saw in 20 in the early 2000s, it was already out there. If they show it to us in the movies, then it's already available. So I'm going to show you that. I have a very specific example on that. Okay. All right, you guys remember Jim? Jim is excitement. Ooh, Jim. Jim is adventure. Ooh, glamour and glitter, fashion and fame. Jim is truly outrageous. Truly, truly, truly outrageous. Whoa, Jim. You guys remember those commercials? Not those commercials, those cartoons where the mirror is talking to Jim, and Jim is, the holograms, right? We're gonna get into that. All right, let me scroll down a little bit. Okay, you guys have to forgive my singing. It's crazy. It's a little bit crazy. Yes, yes, indeed. Melinda Candace Owens is married to British nobility, and she's not hurting for. No, she's not. But I'm saying that they're using black people. There you go. What do you guys think the chances are that they're using Kanye to start a freaking race war? Which the communists used Leonard Patton back in the day. He was trained at freaking Russia. That black people have been trained to be freaking communist. Okay? But and then Candace Owens, she's been trained. She's being trained for something too. How else do you think she's able to say all the things that she says and do all the things that she does, and she's still on? She's still standing strong. She's also, like I said, she's a dualist. She's just like Trump. She's able to play both sides. She's able to play on your little heartstrings over here. Oh, you conservative little black folks. Oh, come on up with me. Come on up with me. And meanwhile, she's over there, toasting up and champagning and caviar dreamings with the central bank financiers. Come on. I'm sorry. I absolutely love Jim myself. I gotta give it to you, Independent Minnie. I learned the words to that not too long ago. But I'm telling you, those people were writing their butts off back then. You had to be able to write to produce, I think, a cartoon back then. You had to be able to. You had storylines, right? You had a storyline, right? But I'm just telling this lady, Candace Owens, to the UK, she's Lady Candace Owens, okay? To America, she's the conservative Oprah. I mean, I'm telling you, can you get more parody like when she had that billboard in Tennessee? I didn't go there to see it, but I saw it. Okay, she was on there, and she even has a Michelle Obama kind of wave coming on to her show. Um, yeah, but I'm telling you, I'm just saying. So I can't unsee this stuff now. Independent Minnie, thank you so much for coming on. Yeah, like Jim. Independent Minnie says they were getting a percentage of money going to the UKR and then giving it back to the Dem Party. Well, here's the other situation, okay? Now, people talked about her in the past being a grifter, and I couldn't quite see it. But then they said, when they talked about her having that phone, like, what was the name of that phone that she had going? That she was telling, okay, well, don't support iPhone, support this phone, the Freedom phone, right? She had the Freedom phone. And what was it supposed to be, like a cheaper produced phone? I don't know. What did it have Chinese parts on it? I don't freaking know. I'm just saying, I guess that is a bit of a grift. You go from one thing to selling phones. Not an Obama phone, but a conservative Oprah phone. That is just. But she'll be but see, is that not in line with her being a civil rights leader? She's going to be the civil rights leader, not just for black people, but she's going to go down in history for something like that. But I'm saying just take note, people. Take note. Cool. She said, did anybody out here buy one of those freedom phones? I don't even, how much was it? Did you get your freedom phones? Did you get anybody out here get a freedom phone? Freedom fighters. Don't be a freedom fighter. Get a freedom phone. That's going to be right up there with the civil rights movement. She brought us freedom phones. Freedom phones. I'm going to look it up and see is it on the market, ladies and gentlemen. Is the freedom phone on the market? Should we add that to the propaganda persuasion panel? Let's add that. Let's add that. Let's all find a freedom phone. A refurb freedom phone. Can we get that? Can we just get that? They're gonna put it in the museum, right? What, they're gonna put it in the Smithsonian Museum, or what's the, like, the Civil Rights Museum? They'll have the freedom phone in there and her face above it. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I'm going a little bit crazy, but Cool says, yeah, I'm sure her loyal idiot followers want to. Anarchy says, I'm still waiting on my Obama phone. Ah, Belinda says, when the old man dies, her husband inherits the title, and I'm premature on the lady. Okay, thank you for the education. Thank you. All right, so I don't know what kind of operating system is she using. Is she using the Android system, or is she using the Apple system? You know, what is it? Shout out. I'm sorry, and I'm going into my hip hop mode now. I think about Nasir Jones when I think of it. He says, what? How do the lyrics go? It's not New York State of Mind. You got caught by the, let's see, the rotten apple. You caught by the devil's apple. Crap is a hassle. I don't know. I'll get it together. But that apple is something else. All right, let's see. Let's hang in there. But I'm just saying, I think that Candace Owens and Oprah Winfrey have a lot in common. Now, just don't crucify me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, let's see. Let me just open this up. Let me just get in here. Let me scroll it down. Scroll it down. Freedom phone still powered by the same controllers. Yes, indeed. And then what else have we got? Let's see. Uncool says it still had Android app. It still had Android App Store access. Like, come on, people, wake up. She says Melinda says Megan and Candace see any similarities? Just saying. Oh man. And then Uncool says she talks all this crap about women staying at home and resting in their femininity, but she was back on the world stage 2 weeks. Yeah. Did you notice that? Yeah, it was just that. Well, see, to me, that's kind of a, that's a little like, like I saw that with that, was it Markle, or even like yeah, it's like she's totally nobility already, because when Kate Middleton had her kids, and she was right back out there. I was like, man, they don't waste any time. They get right back on the saddle, literally back on the saddle. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just making observations right now. I know I started out about the leveling of the playing field, narrowing of the minds. I know I started out there, but we've kind of gone into some other places. But I'm gonna tell you, like, I'm gonna go. What's the name of that? MoveOn.org. That's on Pluto TV as well. That was on Pluto TV as well. But what I'm going to pull out today, I'm going to be trying to pull out, the something that we're going to do something kind of along with the free apps. We're gonna free your mind with some free apps today. How about that? But definitely propaganda show, the propaganda panel, the pendulum swings for the propaganda panel. Because I'm gonna show you guys all the. We'll do a little card sort, right? We'll do a little card sort on our show, and if you're interested, I got one person that wants to be on the panel, and yeah, we just try to give you a little bit of or a little toolkit for your survival these days. You guys are fantastic in the comment section. But yeah, but I think this is worth. I think it's worth to do a little digging around. Uh, I think it's worth it to do a little bit of digging around a bit in this the Farmer family. Is it Baron Farmer right now is his current status? And yeah, yeah. But I'm telling you, this is the next. She is a part of the next generation of whatevers. Uncool says their influence is conditional. They have to stay in line, helping all of the moving parts of deception to stay in motion. Chaos, magic. Yes, absolutely uncool. But I'm just saying these are all the little things that I wasn't quite paying attention to, but I'm paying attention to them now. So I want to bring those to the television. As Marcy T says, to the live vision. So yeah, but I'm just saying, do you guys not find that interesting? Most people, right? Shout out to Gary Gage. Um, and you see how people don't rise quickly. You can't. It's like you can't. You got to have that cord if you're rising that quickly. And then you're staying there. Um, what's the people over there at the Daily Wire and all this kind of nonsense? I just she's not hurting for she's not hurting for anything. No, she's not. But that even that marriage was very quick. Okay, it was like nobody knew who she was dating, and then all of a sudden, bam, that's who she's married to. I still don't know a lot about Farmer. I know a little bit, the pedigree, but I do know that she's a talk about that with on her show. She's not talking about her status. She's not talking about her how she's a part of the system, because to me she is a part of the system. Okay. So let's see. Anarchy. And then Melinda says, my kids watch the Magic School. PBS, right? PBS. I'm not even sure what's happening to that freaking channel. But we'll get into some. I don't know. I might even bring in some stuff like that. Mommy has a mustache. Have you guys seen that? Mommy has a mustache. Because these people are writing curriculum for the TRANs community. They're writing curriculum for these kids. Okay. I don't have anything on that. I know if I touch that too heavily, they'll come after me. Zero, the Infinite Renewed. It's a long time no see. How are you? Thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it. But yes, I will come on later, and I'm gonna get. There's at least 3, maybe even a 4th that I want to get into. But see, the thing is, in order for me, I want to compare and contrast. I want to be able to show you. I want to be able to track this situation. I want to be able to show you 2002 to 2022, ladies and gentlemen. I want people to show you some very specific things. I'm trying to get a hold of that commercial somewhere. I've already tried to find it, but it's like they kind of they're trying to bury this stuff. They're trying to bury it. And in some cases, I don't even think some of the stuff, I'm gonna be honest, guys, some of the stuff that you find on these free apps, they're not on mainstream. Okay? So, I think that the free apps are even more influential. Is that an oxymoron? The free apps, free streaming is the really your mind is not going to be free when you get done with it. You're you're not. It's not free. Your mind is not. It's not a freeing mind app. Yeah, you're totally, you're totally inundated with much more propaganda on these free streaming apps. So I'm going to pull it out, but I think they're trying to bury some of these. They don't want you to be able to find them, because when I go to Google to type in some of these things, I need to find another source. Find another source to see if I can't pull these things out. Because if I watch it, I'd almost have to watch it and record it, screen record it, just to grab the commercial. But I'm going to try to do my best to bring it to you in motion, bring it to you in the full effect. So we'll do that. Let's see. Who else is here? Uncool says, yeah, I think that's why I got a strike. I discussed an article about how they say, oh my God. Okay. Well, yeah. I think, yeah, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. Uncool. See, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to I'm trying not to deal with that too tough. Marcy T, how you doing, sister? You're here. You're here. Thank you for coming in. We're just yapping it up. I'm gonna come on later today, is what I was telling my friends here. That this is a little bit of therapy. We've all had our week or whatever, but we're gonna try to relax a little bit, and we're gonna talk about some of the free app symbolisms and the free app propaganda. But we're going to have I'm going to dedicate an entire stream to the propaganda, the persuasion. I'm going to bring you guys on to the persuasion and propaganda tactics. And some of them you'll recognize right away, right? You'll recognize them right away. But I'm going to put the pendulum out there and have you come on for that one. But for today, I'm going to show you some things that come straight from the free app world. Does anybody have one of those Oculus things? I don't want it. I don't want to touch one. I don't want anything to do with it. I don't. I don't want anything to do with that thing, okay? Because vision is important, right? Vision. Whose vision are you going to have? See, that's the thing. The thing about having vision, and eyeglasses and devices, they want you, I've said this before, they want you to see. They think they're like liberty gods. They want you to see things through their eyes, right? So when you put on the Oculus, whose vision are you getting? Whose vision? Whose vision are you getting? Okay. Like I said, I seriously think this is some kind of Neo. It's bizarre and it's wicked to me at the same time. I think we cycle a lot of this stuff that's already been done before. But yeah, I'm so glad you guys came in. It's something else. It says Uncool says I uploaded my most recent live stream to Rumble. Well, see, I think I need to get on there and Odyssey. Uncool. I gotta really start to back it up, because that's one thing about Twitch. Anything that you do, shout out to Uncool. Anything that you do on Twitch, you got a recording of that out there too. Uncool. So even if they yank something down over here on the TUB, it'll be over there. So, but keep an eye on that Freedom phone. If anybody finds one of the Candace Owens Freedom phones, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see what it's all about. But yeah, so it's okay. Somebody on here, anybody, and I'm gonna wrap it up. So it's been so much fun. I didn't realize things were gonna go crazy like this. But if you find the Freedom phone, what does that look like? What does the Freedom phone look like? And is it NSA free, or who owns the data? I mean, come on. If you pull the chip out of, I'm just saying, no, what I want to know, give me the definition of a grifter. Give me the definition of the grifter. Do your best. How about we'll pull out a Freyer model. Let's pull out the Freyer model. What does it take to make a grifter? What does it take? Give me the characteristics. Give me an example. Give me a non-example. Can you give me an illustration? I need that. Help. 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 We were talking about Lady Owens on here. We were talking about the potential for Lady Owens. Like, how will it come about? Well, she announced it on national television. Well, she announced it on her show. Maybe she'll just put up another billboard, like her counter, like her counter ego, Oprah. Maybe she'll just put it up on another billboard. No, it'll be showing in the UK. So because I think what was it, Oprah Winfrey? She had an influence on the soccer moms here and the stay at home moms here, and I think Candace Owens has the same effect on the conservative stay at home moms and da 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 da, and yeah, I'm surprised people. She doesn't have a decal for the soccer moms' cars. The back of their minivan has a big O on the back. How interesting, right? O is the 15th letter of the alphabet. How about it's a brand, right? And that's what I was saying to myself. My gosh, where is she going with this? Like a long time ago, I was like, oh my gosh, whatever opportunity she's doing, she's doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing. It had nothing to do with it had nothing to do with you know yeah, I don't know. I think she's really less conservative than people will ever admit. Let's see. Uncool says, I really need to get at least an hour of sleep later, y'all. Much love. Okay, good. God bless, peace, and hair grease. You got it. You got it. And have a good night. Good morning. And Marcy T says, all these fugly men dress like women like Dolly. That's true. Well, I'm going to probably wrap up here. I just, you guys have really, we need laughter. We need to line things up because it's heavy. Love to you too. Uncool. It's good to see you. But yeah, I'm gonna come back later with some of that imagery, and I'm gonna try to come up with those commercials. Now, like I said, I might have to put them on mute because they might ding me, and I might say, "Okay, but wait a minute, this is gratuity free TV. It's an app. What are you doing to me? Why are you doing this to me? I'm I'm unmonetized. I'm unmonetized." So yeah, I appreciate it. Let's see. Give us another grifter for 500, Chuck. Corona Chuck. Give it to us. Give it to us. Let's see. Marcy T. I said, okay, you said they're just like Dolly. Excuse me. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun, and you guys are the best in your style, the best in your content, the best in your commentary, and I absolutely adore it. Thank you for supporting at this hour. All right, guys. So what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna dig around a little bit, and I may come out with this dream. Oh boy, what time am I gonna do it? I want to do it today. I want to do it today. I'm gonna try to do it today. I need to try to put some things together. But guys, I'm gonna wish you guys all a great morning and whatever's left of the you know, I'm gonna try to wish you the best in the stages of the hour. Melinda, thank you so much for coming in. Anarchy Television, Uncool Paranoia, thank you so much for coming in. Gary Gage. Let's see. Zero the infinite. We appreciate it. So look, find me the Freedom Phone, folks. I need that. I'm going to look it up. I need to find out what the cost, what kind of operation. I need to know. I need to know because she'll go down as a civil rights leader. I swear. Grifting is the source of the new. I guess that's the new freedom. The civil rights via grifting. Okay, made possible by grifting. Okay, Independent Manny United. Thank you so much for coming in. Same to you, Independent. And Melinda, thank you so much. And Marcy T, I'm so glad you came in. But I was just trying to give you guys a mini little update. I'm going to do the propaganda persuasion. I'm going to be presenting information, and then I'm gonna give you the types that I'm going to cover, and I'm going to give you examples and give you visuals. Maybe we could do a card sort. We could sort them out, and you guys can hit that pendulum and come on in. So, like this Freedom Phone of Candace Owens is what I'd like to see. Is there a specimen out there, Lady Candace Owens? The the what do I call it? What do I call it? I don't know. Well, yeah, we'll get to that. She will be the future Lady Candace Owens is what we'll get into that. But I want to see this Freedom Phone. And when they talk about the grift, that I'm starting. Yeah, it's got to be okay. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your morning, and I'm gonna try to pull it together.